Hello and welcome. I'm Zilla,
I'm Portis.
and welcome to my stream, Ancient Gaming, where we play video games with ancient studies content and talk about it. Today is stream 12, I believe, of Hades 2. It is also Pi Day, so we're going to talk a bit about that. Also, for those of you who are returning, I did just want to let you know I have adjusted some of my settings that I think should mean that the stream doesn't drop this time. Oh, and it dropped in the middle of me saying that. Okay. So, I'm going to try something. Hopefully I'll be right back.
Go.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't see it drop. I just changed a setting, and hopefully that means that it will not drop for other people as well. Anyway, hi. So, Hades 2. As always, just want to let you know, if you do not wish to be spoiled on parts of this game, you can, in fact, go and see all of my prior recordings on my YouTube channel. I do keep them up here on Twitch for as long as they let me, but I am informed that some of the streams have some interruptions, shall we say. So you can catch all of them on my YouTube channel, which is down at the bottom of the frame. And if you want to keep up with when I'm doing what, you can always follow me on socials or check out my Patreon. So, for the folks who have not been playing Hades 2, but, or following along, but don't mind spoilers, I'm just going to go ahead and summarize where we are. We are Melinoë, the daughter of Hades and Persephone, Greek gods of the underworld. We have had our family kidnapped by the Titan Kronos, also our grandfather, who in this version is also Kronos, the Titan of Time. So we are continually attempting to go down into the underworld to fight with Kronos and try and defeat him for good. And also he's sent some enemies up to keep Olympus occupied, so we now have the option to go and help our other family on the surface. So that's kind of where we are. We live in this crossroads area, a liminal space outside of both the underworld and the surface, and full of Nyx's children, and run by Hecate, the goddess of, or the titan of witchcraft. Also, we are part of the invented for this game Silver Sisters triad, which includes the various goddesses of the moon in Greek mythology. Selene, the Titan who is also the moon, and her chariot that draws across the sky. It must be a new moon tonight. So she is not in the sky, but here with us. I like in the sprite version you can kind of see the back of her design. So she is glowing and luminous. The orb hovers above her head like a halo. And then her hair is kind of down in this very patterned lunar shapes. And then she has this cloak of clouds, it looks like, to match her white dress, with silver lunar shapes all along it. So, just a little bit of fun design notes there.
It reminds me to see you, Hecate. I have observed the stalemate upon Olympus holds, although the Titan Kronos musters forces in Ephyra still. Shall I continue monitoring them?
So, you can see from this angle, it almost looks like, and it possibly is intended to be, that her hair and the cloak are the same thing. That the top of her hair is the black of night, and the clouds are the rest of her own hair. We do see this with other designs in this game. Zeus has clouds for hair, for example.
It's also not clear to me whether that top is her hair or some sort of stylized helmet.
Right, it could be a helm, it could be a wig, Egyptian style. We do have some Egyptian stylistic influences on the clothes in this game. So it could be that her hair is just the luminous cloud form and the thing on the top is a helm, or any number of possible configurations. It's a little bit hard to tell, honestly. I also like that her eyes are moons. So yes, so here are our eldest moon god, the Titan Selene, the embodiment of the moon, on her, well, it looks like she's on a winged steed in this drawing, but in wider drawings we'll occasionally see that she's actually in a chariot drawn by winged steeds. Talking to Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft, also a Titan, also often, as one of the moon goddesses, more often than Melinoe, who is actually extremely obscure. I've mentioned a couple of times that there are only 2 mentions of Melinoe that we know of. And as I recall, moon was not the primary association. It was more witchcraft and madness. But in any case, we do also have the Olympian who will come around sometimes, Artemis, who is also a goddess of the moon. And so in this game, Selene, Artemis, and Melinoe are the Silver Sisters, the triple moon goddess. Usually Hecate is there and Melinoe is not. Also, Silver Sisters is a construct made for this game. It's dropped. No! Terrible. Is it back? Oh, goodness. I wish I knew what was going on. It's always just a blip. Well, I hope it stays that way, because it doesn't look like there's actually much I can do at this point now that we are live. Well, that's very annoying. I'm gonna keep trying, folks. I am sorry about that. No. Although those of you who are watching the recording, you're getting the recording from my computer, so you won't see the blips. Anyway, so for now, that's still the best way, I guess. Alright, so I was talking about, oh yes, so Selene has been watching, in Greek mythology, the Titans of Sun and Moon the Sun and the Moon are said to observe everything, particularly the Sun. But Selene does function here as kind of a watcher, who's reporting movements and stuff. So she's observed that the stalemate upon Olympus holds. So the Titans' forces are still growing in Ephyra, where he's taken a foothold, and they are growing and still mounting their assault on Olympus. So that's so Hecate is sort of the strategic force in this game, and Selene, who sees all from above, is reporting back.
Yes, Selene, you do. Blasted Ephyra is the closest exit out of here. Do you suppose they are prepared for a single assailant to weave through their ranks?
Insinuating, of course, that Melinoe is going to fight her way all the way up to the top.
The Titan's forces are somewhat in disarray. Thus, no, I do not think they are sufficiently prepared for one of us. But I shall watch and make certain of it. For now, I must be off. Together we we shine.
Farewell. Together we shine.
Poof. And off she goes back to her place in the sky.
I know what to do.
It looks like we have some things that we could concoct or incant.
I don't know that we actually have the resources to do any of these right now. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
Are we close to anything? We need a nightshade and a bronze.
Could you speak up a little?
Sorry. Let's see, we need a nightshade and a bronze to get aspects, which will be useful.
And
That
garlic.
needs a garlic. Another nightshade for making the fountains better. Driftwood to... Ooh, Shrines of Hermes are fun. That's not as important. That's still a ways away. Lots of nightshade. It's not super important. That's fun. Also fun. What's up,
Here's-
Horns?
Here's Lord Moros. Moros, the god of doom.
Lord Moros, you said before you think Kronos is going to influence the weavings of the fates. You mean he's going to try to change the future? Force a favourable outcome?
Yes, I think he's already trying to do just that. Unfortunately for him, the three fates can be a bit headstrong. I trust they may be quite resistant as captives.
So the Fates are sort of famously unpersuadable by anyone at all. The three sisters weave the tapestry of lives, and they are the ones who have control. And so Moros believes that, presumably told by them, that Kronos is out to get the Fates and to bring them into his influence. It's not exactly likely to work that way, is it? Unless the Fates have a plan. Of course, they've sent Moros, who was their close companion in this version, away from them. Moros, being a companion of the Fates, makes a lot of sense. I mean, how do you wind up with doom if it isn't fated to happen, right?
I have a side question. It just occurred to me. We have all of these children of Nyx. And most of them are depicted as, kind of Mel's age. Not all of them, obviously. I'm just wondering, Nyx, I should say, has a lot of children.
Yep.
But that includes, Uranus and Gaia, who gave birth to Kronos
Yep.
and many of the Titans. So, what are the comparative ages here? Are all of Nyx's children created in the same generation, or is that ever?
I don't recall a specific listing of when all of Nyx's children are made, but one thing to know about Greek mythology, especially when you get to sort of the non-core, the Olympians and their parents and children, is very fuzzy. You will get versions that are very different from each other. We're also dealing with, especially in these Hades games, since the first one was explicit, well, both of them, given the protagonists, are explicitly based on Orphic mythology, which is not even, the cosmology is completely different. You have sort of the goddess Ge, or Earth, being wedded to the sky god Zdaos, or Zeus, maybe, And so you get a lot of very different things. So when you come to the Children of Nyx, a lot of times it's like, oh, and Moros, the embodiment of doom, who was another child of Nyx, has just been around forever. So like, Nyx came out of chaos. Chaos obviously does not need a second parent involved. Nyx clearly does have, you know, an embodiment and romantic interests, or in this version certainly, but you have, like, you know, children of Nyx and Ares, right, in the mythology. Not every single one has those. And if they do, they may not be related theogonies, as it were.
Yeah, and you said that the Orphic myths have a different cosmology, but a lot of what is in this one seems to be drawn from Hesiod's theogony.
Right. So this game is much more strongly leaning on Hesiod, who does, in his theogony, go into who begat whom a lot. I haven't reread the portions about before the Titans a whole lot lately. I could go over that the next time we play. I would say I don't remember there being a long section on Nyx. I really don't. There's much more, like, there's a whole section on Eris, although that, now that I'm thinking of it, might be, I think that's in the Works and Days. But there's a whole, in the beginning, it's kind of like Chaos and Eros, mainly. Eros going around and doing things. Eros is way before any of the other gods. And so, like, it's a very different order of events, and there's, like, we think of Eros as being the child of Aphrodite, which is definitely not the case in that one. So I don't remember there being much about Nyx directly, although I can go check. Maybe as we're playing through some of the fights today, I'll see if I can find anything about Nyx in the Theogony.
Yeah, and, like, especially more so in Hades 1, just like, as I understand it, there aren't a lot of Greek sources writing about the underworld.
Right. Yeah. You don't draw the underworld's attention. That's, you know, you just don't. You're inviting, for instance, Moros to come to your door. If you draw the attention of the fates, of the Furies, if you draw the attention of dread Iron Queen Persephone or Lord Hades, you might just wind up getting too much of their attention and not end up dead or worse. So typically people don't. And so a lot of the sources that we have address things a little bit slantwise, or, you know, in a couple of places we have ones that are deliberately created to shock people. Like Euripides writing the Furies onto stage. You know, it's not, we are elaborating quite a bit to do this kind of underworld delving.
I can't imagine Kronos tolerating insolence, whether from your sisters or anybody else. How he must hate them. When he was overthrown before, that was the outcome of a fated prophecy.
Indeed. As for now, I sense there are no leavings happening at all. No new futures foretold. Kronos believes he has no prophecy to fear. Yet I believe this is an opportunity for you to make a better future for us all.
This is a fascinating attitude because, of course, we have. I mean, the ancient Greeks too had a lot of philosophical conversation about the fates versus free will. But this is a question that today we much more strongly sort of go for. You know, we must have free will, otherwise is life even worth living? And you know, in affluent places in the ancient world, that certainly was a question. But there are also a lot of people who find it comforting to think that there's a fate for everybody, that it's predetermined, that there are prophecies that actually matter. Certainly the oracular profession was deeply ingrained in Greek religion, and not just Greek. It was common to most parts of the world to have people who could try to look into the future. And I won't say that people don't try to do that now, too. Because it is somewhat comforting to think that there is a future that you can look forward to, that you might be able to, at best, capitalize on or rely on, and at worst, maybe try to avert or turn sideways. But it was very much a piece of Greek mythology, of Greek religion, because remember, they did treat this as a religion to whatever extent they were religious. It was a part of daily life that, yes, there were prophecies. Now, how much you believed them greatly depended on your personal nature. We have writings from Thucydides talking about how people will turn any scrap of prophecy-sounding thing into whatever fits the moment. And we also have Herodotus talking about the foretelling abilities of fish and rings. You get a wide spectrum.
Here comes trouble.
I do actually love Trouble as a nickname. Especially from Eris. Because you'd think it would be her nickname. It's practically a translation, right?
Now, we just kicked her ass in the last run.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Let's see what she has to say.
You traitor. How dare you stand against me and our cause? And of all the nerve to show your face again here. You'll be cast out for what you've done.
Ooh, she mad.
Sorry, babe, but I'm not going anywhere. Thank Nyx and Hecate and their unbreakable oaths. Besides, you got me all wrong.
So, I just want to take a moment on this unbreakable oath idea. There was the idea in Greek religion of an unbreakable oath sworn on the river Styx. Anything sworn on the river Styx, physically could not be broken. This applies to gods in mythology. Of course, any living human knows that you can swear by whatever you want and break a promise. But it was considered particularly serious and damaging to you in some existential way.
Oh, perhaps I merely mistook you for one of Nyx's other daughters who readily shot at me using the ray of adamant. No, that was me, alright. I had a great time. But I take umbrage with the traitor thing. Think I made clear I wasn't on your side.
Yeah, so just because Eris is a child of Nyx and the Crossroads is in this game a safe space for any child of Nyx, does not mean that Eris actually wants Malinois to win. But that doesn't mean she wants Kronos to win either. She's Discord incarnate. She likes the chaos.
Then you serve Kronos. Sure.
Honestly, Malinois should know better. But I guess she is a teenager, and teenagers feel very strongly about their friends being true in all the ways, if my experience is anything to go by.
Nemesis isn't around, but Odysseus is.
Prometheus opposes us. Everyone else goddess. Amongst us mortals, he was quite popular, beloved even. Gave us the gift of fire. Practically made us who we are.
Now that makes sense. So last time we encountered and had to fight Prometheus, the Titan of Foresight, famously imprisoned for bringing fire down from the heavens from the god's realm to mortal kind and saving them from destruction by Zeus. And he was fighting against us, and so this is... It's not surprising that Odysseus would feel that as a betrayal. I mean, albeit a little less strongly than Melinoe and Eris. Because, of course, Odysseus is a hero of cleverness, of human ingenuity, and fire led to so many inventions and so much human ingenuity.
I think you'll find as this goes on that Prometheus is still on the mortals' side. He just doesn't think the gods are. I mean, the gods never were, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You might find that I have a theme about that in mind.
And in so doing, he violated the will of Olympus. Supposedly, he has the gift of foresight. He ought to have anticipated the consequences of his disobedience.
who says he didn't?
What makes you think he didn't? All the more reason we admired him. He knew the cost of what he did for us and paid it willingly. So I choose to think that all that's in the past. If he's thrown with Kronos now, he's lost his way.
Which is an interesting perspective, right? Because Kronos does claim to be bringing a golden age for mortals, although we see no real sign of that when we're on the surface. Just lots of dead ones.
He's done both.
Hey look, nightshades.
Up you go. Think I can raise my grasp. Just as I thought.
So, let's see, I have 25 ash. Is there anything useful I can... I don't need more ash for that. That's... You get feathers by defeating Prometheus, so that might be a while still. Ash wool, ash. I think what I'm most interested. Well, let's just oops. Yeah, the next useful ones are going to be the bottom left. So that's just getting more ash. I think I'll save up my remaining ash for that.
The answer's night.
Oh, the black coat's available. Have we talked about the black coat?
No, it hasn't been available.
Oh.
Envelop me in darkness.
So I have no idea why this is called the black coat, because it's really more of an ethereal jetpack with power gloves. It shoots rockets. And you. It's very ridiculous. There's nothing I can think of that it's based on. It's just they wanted a jetpack, I guess.
Don't you want a jetpack?
If it wouldn't burn my legs off, maybe.
I see you found your way.
There's a Homer interaction.
The rank and file of the crossroads swell with shades who once were lost, but now have joined in our Princess Linoe's most righteous cause.
Welcome to the ranks of the unseen.
How fared your recent surface sea journey, young one? I still remember well the boundless waters there. How blue and tranquil they were.
So, Skelemaeus, a naval captain in his time, or so he claims.
Although he also claims to have perished in a shipwreck, so how blue and tranquil they actually were.
I mean, they didn't really talk about blue and tranquil in terms of describing the sea so often. Usually when you get Greeks talking about the sea, it's with a lot more caution and reverence, or despair. Or in one case I can think of deep, deep misogyny.
Just occurred to me that since I picked up the Nightshade, I should see about using Cauldron. What's the other one? I thought there were two that I had managed to unlock. Oh, I still need more bronze for that one. Okay. Well, let's do this one. More healing is not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all. Yes, the Wine Dark Sea. Not uncommon in the slightest. There's been a lot made of the poetic Greek description of colors. Really Greek descriptions of colors. This is my summary of how they work. I've not actually seen anybody write about this. But they tend to be more interested in saturation than hue. So they'll talk about light versus dark versus clear. So when they talk about the Wine Dark Sea, they're not trying to say that the sea was purple or red. Just that it's dark like wine when you pour it from the bottle. Undiluted, because they usually would mix wine and water, and unmixed wine was actually considered barbaric.
So, I've just unlocked the Black Coat, but the Grave Thirst is calling for the Umbral Flames. Which do you think I should do?
Oh, what are you in the mood for?
I mean,
You just unlocked the Black Coat?
I always have a bit of an awkward time with the Black Coat, but we can go for it.
Okay. Let's see.
Although at the same time, I am wanting to get... nah, we'll do this. Okay, so who... Oh, I don't have Poseidon's Keepsake. I should fix that. So... I guess... maybe putting... Scorch on? I'm gonna go down this time since we went to the surface many times.
Farewell, Commander.
Oh.
To the House of Hades.
Ask any god upon Olympus whether we think you ought to join in on offense here, or take the fight to Kronos.
Hey, just who you were looking for.
Get a range of views. A range of highly civil views, which we don't find about.
Oh yes, the Olympians never quarrel with each other for long. Okay, yes, for long as well. No, they fight each other all the time, quite famously, and quarrels among the gods are the main cause of practically everything that distresses mortals. And don't forget to dig up your seeds.
The sigil of frost.
Did you get Poseidon's Keepsake? I'd looked away for a second.
I didn't have the option to give him a gift, so no.
Ah, alas.
Freeze. I am not yet prepared to go that far, though likely can be pushed.
Right. So, Demeter, the source of growing grain, who nourishes mortal kind and has a lot of positive interactions with mortals, actually. Is potentially prepared to destroy them just to deal with Prometheus and his fire. Prometheus actually, aside from bringing fire to mortals, not actually mythologically connected to fire. Hestia, on the other hand.
We could never make her stay away for good. To think she's one of Nyx's many hopes. Squeeze out a big litter like that, you're liable to get a runch.
I just love her so much.
to get her actual cast, but I might not, so I'll verify this while I can.
More whispers.
So I'm looking through, just very quickly skimming for anything about Nyx in the Theogony, and I do see that she bore Ether and Day
Let me help you.
to Erebus, which so she and Erebus were lovers.
Rest easy now.
And so ether is, for the Greeks, the upper part of the atmosphere where it's too thin to breathe, essentially, so near space.
Coming out.
So those are the first of her children. Spending way, way, way more time on the children of Gaia, which is not surprising.
Keen eye. That's all of them. You already saw we're up against Prometheus. His whole thing is how he knows what's going to take place. Makes him quite an elusive one, I guess.
So Artemis here, a little bit more information about Prometheus's connection to Kronos, at least in terms of tactics. So just as we have Selene observing the tactics above, they have Prometheus foretelling what ways things might go, and Kronos controlling the timeline. So, ostensibly at least, you know, Kronos and Prometheus are both Titans, and they might therefore have some generational bonds. But Prometheus actually fought against the Titans in the war that Prometheus that Kronos got torn up by. So it's a little bit of an odd pairing. Then again, when a foreteller comes to you and says, "I'll help you fight a war," you kind of don't turn them down.
The Titan of Foresight, fighting for the Titan of Time. Perhaps merely against the gods who punished him. He may have his reasons, but he's in my way.
Oddly more sympathetic to Prometheus, whom she doesn't know, than Eris, who she does know. Although that kind of makes sense. Again, that whole sort of teenage betrayal thing. I did find a section here where it says that Night, though she lay with none in this translation, bore blame and woe and the Hesperides and the Fates and nemesis and deceit and friendship and age and strife and toil and so all of these are pretty much Nyx just had them, no father involved. So that actually lines up with what I was thinking, which is that there's not really a canonical pairing for most of them.
Now, you were saying that Melinoe is more sympathetic to Prometheus than to Eris. I think part of it is, like, I don't know if she explicitly states it, but, like, there's this sort of undercurrent of, like, you know, they're frenemies, but also Melinoe seems to think that she can fix Eris.
True.
I know precisely what you mean. Though if he really knows the future, would he choose the winning side? Careful with him, sister.
Maybe. There might always be reasons for doing something not obvious.
add Hephaestus to... Nah. Actually... yeah. Oh, wait.
The shadows dissipate.
Sure, it's early on. This could be interesting.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about today, just because it happens to be Pi Day, at least in places that do dates the way the US does. So, 3/14, 3.14. Although we've missed 1:59 p.m., alas.
The black coat shines.
But, so obviously, I love streaming on Pi Day because the letter pi, obviously, Greek, that's where we get it.
Holds more than the souls of the dead, riches beyond imagination, even the remains of the deathless titans.
They'll end up back where they belong. Confiscating stolen property.
Interesting. That's how it's framed, is it? Now the ancient Greeks did actually use their letters to represent numbers as well, much like the Romans did. Not quite as cleanly. There's a reason that we don't continue to teach the Greek way of making numerals. It's, you know, I know there is a lot of ancient Greek math out there. I've known people who did independent studies just on that topic alone, because there's just so much text. I am not a math person.
I will counter that Greek numerals actually make a lot more sense than Roman numerals.
Fantastic. Tell me why.
So in Greek numerals, you have 27... it uses all 27 letters of the early Greek alphabet, including things like digamma and what's it called?
Oh, you mean,
Might include kappa, or... it has the 24 letters of the Greek alphabet that we know, as well as three that are obsolete.
3 obsolete letters, yeah.
And alpha through the 9th one, which might be iota, I'm doing this off the top of my head, are 1 through 9. The next 9 are 10 through 90, and the next 9 are 100 through 900. So we essentially have... we don't have place value the way we do with Arabic numerals, but we have numbers that mean, like, you know, they're basically digits, the way that we think of them today.
It's the same way you would use multiple dice to get big numbers.
Yeah, in a way. 0, again, not a concept that was really used, especially not as a number or digit until Arab numerals came about. But you can express any number from 1 to 999 just by taking 1 to 3 letters of the appropriate thing. And then I think there's some symbol which lets you multiply it by 1,000, much as there is in Roman numerals whenever you need to express numbers that are bigger than, you know, what you can usually get to with M's and such on, so forth. So you don't have these weird rules of like, oh, you know, VI is 5 plus 1, but IV is 5 minus 1.
You're right, that does sound more sensible, and I don't know why I've never had it explained to me that way. I don't know anything about Greek math. I'm sorry. I really don't. It's not something I was ever interested in, but Tortoise, as you can tell, is a math person.
Okay. Oh, hello there.
Oh, Burb.
Little Raven.
A white raven with blue eyes, which probably means it's deaf. For some reason, white animals with blue eyes are almost 100% deaf. I don't understand the biology of that, but kind of a neat thing to know. It's kind of like how calico cats are almost always female. There are exceptions, but it just happens to be. Actually true. Hestia is the goddess of the hearth, and every home has a hearth. It's what makes it a home. And so every home has a shrine to Hestia. Whereas praying to the other Olympians is a thing for outside the house.
Alright.
I am now all right. I like that as an approach.
Yeah, pot in here. Sure.
This is stolen from us.
Right. So the other aspect of Pie Day, of course, is making and eating pies, which we will be doing later. Well,
Not on stream.
yeah, not on stream. And to be fair, Tortoise has already done most of the pie making. I've gotten to eat some leftover filling. That was tasty. But in any case, so I woke up this morning with the question, did the ancient Greeks eat pie? Because I can think of a number of ancient Greek foods, although I've never particularly studied, like I've not gone looking for what they ate. There are definitely people who do. In my couple hours this morning, I did not go delving into JSTOR to see if anybody's ever written a compilation of are there specifically pies. Oh right, that's an aspect of Hera I haven't talked about. She's also the goddess of childbirth, at least for a broad definition. There is a more specific goddess, oh wow, I can't remember how it's pronounced. I want to say it's Erythea. But Hera has the domain over childbirth, and that is, of course, extremely, extremely important, right? Because without, I mean, childbirth is the single most dangerous thing that any human being can go through, on either side, basically. But
especially so when
you don't have modern medicine. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's an aspect of Hera I often don't think about because, I don't think about childbirth all that often. It kind of terrifies me, to be honest. But Hera was so deeply important in ways that we just don't talk about today, because you pray to Hera for the birth of every child, for the survival of every infant, for the survival of every mother. Humanity isn't possible without her. Anyway, back to pie. That's a little... Well, hey, there's a connection. Did you know that the Roman word placenta actually meant pie. It's actually where we got our word pie, if the internet is to be believed. I haven't really looked into how that came about. DJ Trundlebot asking, is baklava a cake or a pie? That is an excellent question. I do not know the answer. So,
I feel like people, if they're going to give a name to something like spanakopita, they'll call it spinach pie.
right. So, to interrupt about the game again.
Oh, yes.
Instead of my rants about pie. So Hecate, known for having familiars, specifically the Hound and the Weasel. We did see them in the in some previous runs. They were in the Crossroads. There's the word.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to go interact with them because they should still be there.
Oh, but yeah. So their names are. I mean, I know Gale is the Weasel.
Polecat.
Polecat, and that just means polecat. That's what Gale means.
Hecuba is the
Hecuba
hound.
is the hound, which is the name of a queen of Troy. The queen of Troy, who is relevant during the Iliad.
I mean, both. It is implied that both Hecuba and Gale in this game are humans who are turned into animals.
Right, and that is consistent, at very least for Gale. That's how polecats came to be, is Hecate, protectively, if I recall correctly. I think I told this story earlier, and I've lost the details right now. But Hecate turned Gale into a polecat, and then Gale became a companion to Hecate. And so these are animals associated with Hecate throughout, and also with witchcraft in general, although hounds also very much associated with hunting. That's the primary reason they were bred. Interestingly, since we were just talking about childbirth, there is a particular well in Athens that, and I guess I should give a content warning here if you don't want to hear about human remains. That's going to be like the next, 30 seconds or so. So, it is entirely full of infant human bones and dog bones. And the theory goes, the theory that I've heard that I actually think is realistic, goes that this was actually a place of sacrifice to Hecate, to protect the souls of the shades, essentially, of the infants who were too young to be named. Because it was so common to lose an infant in the first few weeks of life that they weren't given a name until after that time. And this is what a lot of naming ceremonies that take place a week or two after a baby is born are about, is it's so common for them to die before modern medicine.
An animal familiar along next turn, but to keep things lively for me. We have the means to keep them safe, even in scuffles such as these.
So,
Faith of familiar spirits.
we can now have animal companions. That'll be fun next time.
I passed the test.
Back to pie. So I didn't go reading through all of the articles to see if anybody's done a study on pies. I did see some interesting claims. There's a Greek tourism site run by Greek, I think the Greek Tourism Board, that claims that the ancient Greeks used pie as a staple, and that our first references to pie are in Aristophanes. When the tourism board talks about stuff in this sort of out there way, you gotta take it with a few grains of salt. I looked into the claim a little bit, and it looks like they definitely had a lot of pastries. And some of them were probably things we'd call pies. Like like Tortoise was saying about spanakopita, was like, is that a pie? Probably. Is baklava a pie? Probably. Is baklava ancient? A little bit unclear, but maybe. I mean, I'm not a food historian. Like, I've been trying to put that out there. Like, I have not read the research. Maybe we know. But like something like the sort of phyllodoe pie objects that we associate with Greek food today probably did exist in some form. But also it's just very, very common all around the world at all times to have essentially hand pies, like a little pocket pie. And in Greece, the outcome of that is pita, right? You have this bread that holds stuff. And so, is that a pie? Kind of. Did they have pastries and dedicated pastry makers? Absolutely, we do have words, not just in comedies, for pastry chefs, in specific, from ancient Greek writers. And then we do get, in Roman texts, we get a little bit more specificity, at least from what I saw. So, did they have pie? Depends on your definition, and I am not going to define it.
So Kronos showed up again.
Oh.
And one thing you might not have noticed when we showed up is he sort of mockingly hummed part of the theme music. He went, So, this is something that Kronos occasionally does to mock Molyneux. Sort of, fourth wall breaking, but considering that he, can manipulate time and kidnap the fates, it's...
You yet persist, despite my generous attempts to dissuade you.
Generous.
Then very well.
You
carry
call
on
this
as distracted as
generous.
you are, whilst I turn my attention to matters of greater import.
Shades of Jareth the Goblin King there.
Next.
I don't know if you'll find him in here, among the other shades.
The air's thick.
Ooh.
Do Goblin Kings leave shades like the rest of us? Well, I suppose his actor certainly did leave us some,
The ancient and obscure originator of creation yet remains, observing from within such black impenetrable depths the endless toil of the living and the dead.
Chaos has witnessed too long.
Can't remember if I've given you a gift.
I know such sweetness as this nectar is never to be taken for granted, almighty Chaos. Please, it's yours. Wondrous creations such as this are only possible because of you.
wondrous creations such as pie are only possible because of chaos.
Okay, I guess I already have.
Ooh.
Abyssal insight, the pitch black stone.
So, you may have noticed a floating black monolith, which is probably entirely intentional. That is not an artifact of mythology, but a design of the game. Being able to see futures within the monolith is kind of hilarious, I think. Very 2001.
Voices more. Let me show you the way.
One thing I did want to note is that
Hang on. Gotta be fast. Can't afford both the slice and the... So, let's just... You would have done the same for me.
Sister must sully her delicate hands in all the field work that must be done. She is even beginning to take to it. Aren't you, Hera, our queen?
Oh, duo boon time.
Dentor, these hands have seen more than you know. I simply do not flaunt the hardships I've endured. One can be as strong as a rock without taking on its texture.
Snipe, snipe, snipe. Ooh. Fascinating.
I'll take it. It's not the best thing for me. Now, remind me to give a gift to Poseidon here.
I will attempt to do that. So, for those of you watching along who weren't quite sure why there was that, oh, we gotta pick fast. That was Nemesis. We are not the only shoppers at the shop along the waters.
I heard so much about you, Uncle. But you're not just very strong, you're generous as well. I am grateful, and would give you this.
And the sea gives and the sea takes away.
Deeply unnecessary. Now I'm feeling generous, so here, this one's for you.
Excellent.
Well, this is quite a catch. Olympus, I accept this message.
So, oh yes, we were talking about knights, lovers, and children. So Erebus is a place, right? It is the deepest depths of the underworld, and it came first, the deepest, darkest night, the place in these games where we occasionally meet with
Oh, come on.
for instance, in the first game you can battle Charon for funsies, and that takes place in Erebus, right? There are a bunch of things like that, but Erebus is much like a lot of other things, like Gaia, also an embodied god who can have lovers and children.
So come back when you can, alright?
Time to send a message.
Can't afford much.
Pay the drain. Alright, Skinner.
There she is, the star herself.
You didn't notice the sign, but that's our private little area where fans are not supposed to go. Your so-called green room happens to be built atop a drain that spills into the morning fields below. You could always flush your sorry work down there, where it'll fit right in.
Wow, wow, wow.
So unnecessary.
Looking for our work. Someone if a few ideas go unused here and there. If you don't cut, you never get to the good stuff.
Gah.
Blasted catchy song.
It is a catchy song. I also happen to like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I object to Molinaway constantly trashing their songs.
Nature was the honest.
Did you want to trade out your keepsake?
Yeah. Let's... Wait, that's already it. So... Oh, because I've got the cherished heirloom thing on. Right.
Mm.
Let's see, what do I want? Let's get some armor. That'll be helpful.
It is all fated.
I know, but I'm not gonna chase that right now. Probably spend some time in, like, runs off camera doing some of that.
Where to from here?
Oh, missed point of interest.
Ooh. So, Hades 2 has become a big topic in Archeo gaming. Unsurprisingly.
yeah.
I know of at least... Oh, well... there may or may not end up being a collection of scholarly essays specifically about Hades 2. It's certainly under discussion. There's definitely a monograph coming out. That'll be interesting. I can't wait to see it. I've also been invited to talk to a college class about gender and sexuality in Hades 2, which will be a lot of fun. Along with another scholar who I greatly admire. So I was just thinking about it because I know one of my friends was just asking for if anybody had screenshots, and we did find plenty. We're all set for this, I believe. But, like, he was just asking if anybody happened to have screenshots of Molinaway and Homer talking because of that sort of fourth wall breaking aspect of the storytelling gameplay. Oh, wait. Okay, you're giving the gift, but before you get the boon.
Be attending to. You've chosen to aid me. I am honored and would honor you in kind.
Is there a wedding date that I should know about, or are you merely being generous with me? In any case, when I'm offered to, there's always a catch. So, yeah.
So, you have stuff to collect and a point of interest.
Yes. I can do those after collecting them. Well, I'll do them in... So, point of interest.
Within the vastly sprawling fields of mourning reside countless sorrow-spreading shades, as well as demons that insatiably feast
Ah,
on their
okay.
misery.
So there's a thing I need to talk about. Demons.
Giving snakes
Daimon.
a bad name while they're at it. Can't hide from me.
Snakes?
Cut out.
Oh, you mean
The
you
Lamia.
mean the Lamia. So I don't know if I would call Lamia a daimon. Daimon is actually a category of spirit or lesser god that does not have any sort of moral judgment attached to it. Like, you could say that there's a daimon of a place, or of an individual person, Socrates once claimed. But that wasn't completely out of nowhere. Like, daimones are just spirits. They're just divine presences of some kind. They're not demons in the pejorative sense. And generally they're a bit amorphous. They're not named is why I would hesitate to call Lamia a daimon. But like, it's thought of almost like luck, right? It was like, oh, I was touched by an ill daimon if I, got sick this week, kind of thing. Like,
It's Lily. It's Lily.
Hi, Echo.
It's Echo. You're an Oriad, aren't you? Though you're not speaking in the customary way of mountain nymphs. Some sort of curse. Some sort of curse.
A curse from Hera, specifically.
I don't remember what boons I had last night, so I'm not going to do that one.
I won't forget this, Echo. Won't forget.
Do I have... I might not.
Even in a place of sorrow such as this, there's beauty, gentleness. I know not how to ease your burden yet, though perhaps this will help. Perhaps this will help. This will help. You're giving this to me. It's an honor. An honor. Be at peace. Be at peace.
I do find this portrayal of Echo very sweet.
Corrupted shades.
I wonder what she means by corrupted. I mean, certainly they're willing to do her some damage, but corrupted by what? By Kronos, maybe? Maybe that's why they're yellow. It's meant to be gold.
Now for what's mine.
I think if you read the descriptions, it also comes out that just like things like sorrow or rage will also corrupt them into being.
Oh, no, that makes sense. That's a very sort of Platonic, virtue ethics style, right? If you let your negative impulses corrupt your virtues, it can lead you to a bad life, bad decisions.
In the name of Hades.
Nowhere near that one.
Haste. What do we have in stock?
Very generous. He was being. Don't need bones.
Oh, huh.
I know you're angry. Believe me, so am I.
So I guess that explains the corruption of Cerberus here too. If we're going with the emotional corruption of one's virtues.
And here we go.
Even though it looks much more like corruption by some kind of illness with all of those sort of wormy tentacle things. Yeesh.
You shades, leave him alone.
Cleansed of his thick miasma coat, the triple-headed Cerberus finally relents.
Yeah, that's another thing that's corrupting people is the miasma.
Yeah, although you don't really get a coat of miasma. It's bad air. But given the way that they portray miasma in this game, as, you know, when you walk through the miasma, you get
All set.
self-doubt and despair. That's not exactly a separate idea, right?
Yeah.
Although traditionally miasma is more literal illness, but the separation between mental illness and physical illness is not so sharp in ancient Greek practice. They definitely treated things like melancholy, right? It's a later term for it, but, you know, it's something that was known. Again, one of those things that sort of frustrates me is, like, people are like, oh, nobody had mental health care in my day. Well, that didn't mean nobody needed it. It's been around forever. People have always had these disorders. It's a
Here goes.
very easy thing for brains to misfire or be slightly tweaked in the wrong direction or have some chemical or physical thing go wrong.
It worked.
People are just people, all through time. Left-handed people weren't new when we started treating them like perfectly abled people. Trans people aren't new, intersex people aren't new, people with depression and anxiety aren't new. None of this is new. Gay people aren't new. It's all been around for as long as people have. Some of it longer.
Cerberus.
It's you.
Hades. Pet the doggo? Aww. Don't have your brother's experience.
When Kronos took our family and the house, and he bade the Witch of the Crossroads take me, I remember it somehow, or dreamt it. Did he demand you tell him of the fates?
Possibly. Perhaps the fates themselves permitted you that bit of insight. My father sought them, but I revealed nothing. Couldn't have even if I so desired. For no one knows where those three are save them.
Wait, you never told Kronos how to find the fates? Then how did he? Because he's captured them. Not long ago, perhaps, but nonetheless, I'm certain of it.
What? No. But if this is true, then my father's plan for conquest is much closer to fruition than I thought. If not even they can stop him. Daughter, what chance do you have?
We've every chance in the world.
It's not every portrayal that says that the fates cannot be found. There are plenty of stories of consulting them or of them being able to be contacted in some way. But they don't. They also don't really seek people out.
Unforgivable.
I don't know if it was mentioned before, but behind Cerberus is a figure that you may recognize from Hades 1 as Boldy, Sisyphus's long-standing friend.
And he's no longer a rolling stone because he's grown moss. Over time, there's a pendulum above him. Latin term. You wouldn't precisely want to call them.
Chronoi.
Yeah.
From the shortest route. Out of my sight.
Shade rot. And a fish.
Prepare, fishy.
Ooh. Yeah, let's
More Hera. Wait, so it is a satyr. I thought they were vermin mages.
I think this one is vermin. It's hard to tell. Like, it's got a tail.
Your master will fare no better.
You know what? Let's do this. Just. I'm not gonna do another one now. Maybe I should.
Oh, I did want to ask, is there anything particularly interesting about the music down here?
Be not afraid.
Hang on. It is, I believe, identical to or a variation of the music that played in Tartarus in Hades 1. Since this is the one part of
The house.
the underworld that is the same, and in fact has the same designs, except they've added Chronos decor.
Yep.
Okay, I have a lot of money.
And turn the river to golden
Remain
sand.
unseen, my lord.
Amid the clamor of the princess's assault on her eternal foe's stronghold, the boatman Charon brazenly cuts through the hostile river waters with a variety of smuggled wares at hand.
He's stealthier than I. Hear me, on my authority.
So, calling time her eternal foe has reminded me of a silly thing that happened the other day, where you declared something to be my mortal enemy. It was capitalism, right? But can one have two immortal foes? Mortal foes? And no, I think time is my immortal foe, and capitalism is my mortal foe. So I've always had trouble with time. And only as an adult have I come to understand that capitalism is my enemy.
I have a good feeling about this one.
Too young to know what it was like. Before the gods reshaped the world to be like this, mortals did not have to die in agony and waste away within this pit. A simpler age, and all the better for it.
All the better because you controlled every detail, is that it? You couldn't stand that others had a different outlook than your own. You went to war with your own children. After eating them whole, so they say.
They say a lot of things. They went to war with me. My offspring and my other charges did not always take to discipline. I had too many to look after to take cheek from anyone. And you, my girl, are not entitled to anything more.
Yeah, it's left open whether he actually did eat them whole, since he just says they say a lot of things.
Yeah. So, he also he says they went to war with me, and then immediately says the abuser thing.
Uh-huh.
Of, I was disciplining them. They chose war. I'm like, okay. But also, his claims that, mortals before the gods didn't die and their shades spend eternity in the underworld. It's kind of iffy, isn't it? Because he doesn't seem to actually do anything to change that, other than enslave the shades that didn't manage to escape the underworld when he came. You'll have noticed them in chains up in the rest of Tartarus, hanging around in the background. I should have had you take a screenshot of that piece of dialogue, but oh well. I probably am at some point going to have to write up something about the gods and mortals in this game.
Stop getting picked off like that. Okay, I just need to avoid the giant AoEs. And I'll be fine.
We've seen this mode before, right?
Yep.
The giant clock of doom. No. The Greeks did have some clocks, various types. There have been all sorts of timekeeping measures known all over the world. I believe that they mostly used candles.
I think also water clocks.
Yeah, water clocks, I believe they imported from the Near East.
Yeah, they're definitely a thing in Egypt. Ooh. Ah.
And then people will talk about, the Antikythera device, which is not really a clock so much as it is an orrery. So timekeeping, yes, but in the sort of celestial sense. So, again, yeah, they figured out how to make clockwork. It was just kind of a neat toy to them, not a thing to base an economy on. So they had clockwork. There are even some evidence of steam machines.
Yeah.
Again, just it didn't catch on at the time. And again, all of these things were known not just in Greece, but actually primarily in Egypt, and then in the Near East as well, and of course China. Like, we have lots of evidence for things being invented multiple times.
There we go.
Just not having the resources or the interest to put it forth.
You can resist the ravages of time. But you, how?
You'll get no answers from me, and no mercy either. Now die already, and I'll collect the ichor from your veins, or whatever flows through them.
Ichor being the name for the blood of gods, specifically.
What is death to the deathless? A mere nuisance. This house is mine. Once I am gone, you shall be cast away.
I expect so, and you'll be remade and back on the throne before I can return. But I shall return, and I'll slay you again and again and again if I must.
An endless cycle of violence.
It meant that you would never see your dear old family again. Because the mercy I have shown to them thus far is something I may have to reevaluate.
Our family. And what do I care? I don't even know them. But I do know you will be dead here in another moment.
It's kind of a long death speech, isn't it?
For you, my girl, a mere reminder. Nothing more. Time cannot be stopped.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Suffer in darkness.
All right.
I believe there was also marble.
Do you recognize who that bust is of?
That's Kronos.
Ah.
Yeah.
The remains of time.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
Should have a look around.
So now it's time to get weird.
The Princess Chambers. The mirror. Not yet. In dream I shall remain unseen.
We can see the cobwebby remains of our room as Zagreus from the first Hades game. All of the same old skulls and posters.
Got a wall scroll of Achilles, Dionysus, and Aphrodite.
A collection of different size Cyclops and Medusa skulls. Although why their snakes are full bones and not vertebrae, I don't know.
Really?
There's the gaming table shoved to one side, the weights, the harp, or lyre, sorry.
So many
And
dreams.
the dusty, dusty bed.
And one more. To the abyss of the subconscious I descend. A connection. Step 1.
So this is the Mirror of Night, which is where Zagreus would go and get his upgrades.
So much like the tarot cards in this one.
And now step 2. Night and darkness. Guide me to my blood beyond the grasp of time.
So
The
yeah,
mists of memory.
this has no particular basis in mythology. There's plenty of witchcraft lore that's like this, right? Like travel in dreams, the astral plane, all that kind of stuff.
Voice. It's
And the imagery is, you know, a starlit path. Zagreus is talking to his own hair. Remember Zagreus.
My hair getting lighter and my features getting paler, or did I consume something that really isn't sitting well?
You've been hanging out with Dionysus too much, bud.
Prince Zagreus, please listen to my voice. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Definitely something I consumed then, or else, oh, this is just a dream. Hypnos has been growing rather bold with these. Don't you in there, mate?
No, look, yes, technically this is a dream, but it's the only way I could reach out to you across the span of time. Now please, our family is in danger, and I need your aid.
All right, slow down. It's fortunate I rather like such realistic dreams. And what do you mean, our family? Who are you? Probably one of Mother's many cousins. Wouldn't explain the eyes, though. Oh, I can't see
The eyes are distinctive, aren't they? One red like Hades, one green like Persephone, and no, that does not come from the mythology. But it is very striking, isn't it?
Look, this is going to be difficult for you to accept, but I'm Melinui, your sister. From another time, a future time not all that distant from your own.
So she's had time to grow. She's presumably in her teens, or maybe early 20s. Probably teens. But to the span of a god, that's not much time at all.
And who knows if it's actually if she's actually
Right.
in her...
Gods grow at vastly different rates depending on the story, and, Hermes was rustling cattle at age day 1.
See, that was going to be my next guess. Well, dream sister from a future time. I would never want to snap awake before hearing you out, so what's the situation?
It's a good thing Zagreus was so likable. Too bad Melinoi is such a pill?
I want you to
Is that the word I
find
want?
Father Kronos and destroy him, because there's only so much I can do here myself. He's taken over your entire house, imprisoned our father, mother, you, everybody, and now he threatens Olympus. All as vengeance for what the gods once did.
Right. When you say what the gods once did, you mean the part where they got rid of Kronos permanently long before I was ever born? Or you, for that matter. But in the not all that distant future, he returns and single-handedly takes over everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, please believe me. I myself was very little when the Titan struck, and I've been training all my life in preparation for this very moment. But I cannot stop Kronos on my own. Will you aid me?
I'm guessing not, since this is a dream and I'll likely just forget about it as soon as I wake up. Also, you look and sound just like a figment of my imagination would probably look and sound. Can you prove anything you said?
You won't forget me when you wake, I promise you. As for the proof you seek, you must know of Hecate, our mother's handmaiden. She trained me for this. Seek her and tell her what I've said, but no one else.
Sister, I'm afraid our mother has no such handmaiden. Although, in some strange way, you mentioning a name I've never heard is better proof than anything you've said to me thus far. What's the matter?
It's Kronos. I've incapacitated him, but he'll return, just as he will eventually in your own time. I need to go. Before he finds me here, I need to go.
Alas, our time is limited.
Melinoi, will I ever see you again, or was this more of a one-off?
I found you across dreams and time, brother. I'll stop at nothing to do it again. Until then, please, let this remain a secret between us.
Right, I can't even tell Hypnos. Well, suit yourself. See you another day, sister. Or night.
Till then, from mists of memory, return to Shadow now.
Ah, plot. I suppose I should mention that there is no particular myth of Kronos returning to plague his descendants. That's just this game.
Such a night. Kronos vanquished. And after that, he'd not believe it anyhow.
I don't know. Freenos has seen some things. Well, I'm afraid that is definitely time for us to stop, but thank you so much for coming along for the ride. I hope we didn't blip more than once or twice. I don't know. I didn't see it happen, but it's hard to tell. I will be gone for the next 2 weekends, but after that, hopefully, we shall return, and with some animal friends to send us on our way.
Isn't that right, Phrenos?
Coax, coax.
X.
All right. Thanks for coming, and hey, keep learning, friends.